In today's video, we're putting a four-time F1 World Champion Max Verstappen up against GT3 rookie Max Verstappen as we host a one-lap showdown at the Nordschleife with a grid full of 7 Red Bull RB21 F1 cars and 7 Verstappen.com Ferrari 296 GT3s. With the GT3 Verstappens having a front of the grid advantage, how long can they hold off their F1 counterparts? We're going to be taking part in this race, driving one of the GT3 cars as we swap our Formula 1 wheel for a GT rim in much the same way as Verstappen did recently over the weekend. Because if you've been living under a rock or simply in an F1 only bubble, this entire video idea has come about after seeing Max Verstappen making his first official GT3 debut in real life, taking victory for his own Verstappen.com livery team, driving alongside his Team Redline teammate Chris Lullum. So, inspired by Max's F1 to GT3 swap, let's get into our own GT3 experience today with an F1 twist that you can only do in a video game. We're starting this one-lap showdown on the front row alongside Max Verstappen, and behind us a whole grid full of Max Verstappens as we get underway for a lap of the Nordschleife. Not a track that I usually drive, and so this is going to be just a challenge in itself for me to survive the lap and hopefully not make an absolute fool of myself as we swap an F1 wheel for a GT3 one. And I must say, it really adds to the experience being able to swap out the rim on the Thrustmaster T598. But look at that, a sight to behold, a full grid of, initially 7 GT3 cars piloted mostly by Max Verstappen, and then all those RB21s in the distance. But right now, we've actually been done by one of the Verstappen AIs in the GT3 car. Is that going to be the Verstappen Prime of the GT3 cars today? Is he going to be sailing off into the distance? And can I do anything to maybe help out and defend against the F1 cars once they catch us up? There's a little bit of touch and go with the grass in the distance. So far, so good for us. We've navigated the, I guess, first sector, but first part of the lap. I don't even know where the sectors are. Are they even sectors around the Nordschleife? I don't even know. But we're just cutting back to a replay earlier in the lap just to kind of assess what's going on with the progress of the RB21 Verstappens, and they're actually too busy fighting each other side by side. The lead Formula 1 car goes, and well, right now it's a bit of a blockade with the GT3 cars. This is the interesting thing with this sort of challenge in video is, oh, big spin behind us that was then. So as I was too busy just concentrating on the road, there was a big crash behind then involving multiple of the F1 cars and one of the GT3 cars, as we're now back to the live action with the lap. But yeah, I suppose the challenge for the F1 cars today is just trying to find their way past, because it is somewhat of a narrow track. There are a few places to definitely make the pass, but right now they're being very cautious as we try and keep up with the leader. But he's actually gapping us as my confidence isn't supremely high, understandably, around the Nordschleife. And again, just cutting back a little bit earlier to a replay, because this was the moment where the F1 cars started to maybe nip at the heels of the GT3 cars. It looks like a swarm of bees, F1 bees coming at them, and now there might be a pass or two, but you can see they're going side by side, some of the GT3 cars, so that's forming a blockade, very Top Gear-esque, a la, if we go 3 wide, no one can pass us, really, as we're now just going through the next right to left. We can just about see that prime Max Verstappen in the Ferrari 296 ahead of us, but he's kind of now completely out of shot and behind. At this point, I was getting the feeling that some of the F1 cars had finally cleared some of the GT3 cars, and that very soon we would have company. And as we look at the live track shots, you can see there's only one car between us and the first F1 Max Verstappen vehicle. So that is a problem. Immediately made a little bit of an error going a bit wide there as the palm starts sweating, and the F1 car is now immediately on the back of us as there's a big spin behind. But we've got more things to worry about. Look at the radar on the bottom left. The F1 car is there. We can see him in the middle mirror, and he's through. He is through. He's absolutely done us, and we have absolutely shat ourselves in the middle of the lap there, because that completely threw my concentration. Just seeing an F1 car whizzing by with so much vim when we're in the GT3 car. And at this point, I felt like I was going pretty fast, but then you quickly realize the pace difference when you see one of the F1 cars clearing us. But yellow flags! Oh, there's been a crash! Wow! Oh, wow, we've just narrowly missed the lead GT3. We're now effectively the lead GT3 car representing Team Verstappen.com, as this is a replay then. And this was the moment then earlier on the lap where finally it was like a cork on a bottle being released, and the F1 cars just went absolutely ham with the overtakes then. And this is kind of where we were live when we saw the F1 car clear that final car between us on the inside. Very easy pass on the apex, and then this was us going wide there with the understeer, and then immediately, look how quick that F1 car is on us. The RB21, and that RB21 behind having an absolute mare, but this one making quick work of us with a bit of patience, eventually gets it down the inside. Beautiful camera shot there through the leaves, and that's who is that window licker on the right hand side of the screen going so wide. But this is a replay then of the incident, and oh, so it was actually the RB21 Verstappen that went wide and then took out the GT3 Verstappen because of because of what happened and one of the other F1 cars going airborne there. So that actually was a bit of a concertina domino effect of a crash. But now back with the live action on this Nordschleife lap. We're only about halfway through. Can you believe it? Very much not used to the length of lap here, you know, from my F1 world, as another F1 car clears us. We're down to P4. So, no surprise, the top three are all Max Verstappen F1 cars. But very surprisingly, I am the lead GT3 car. Really didn't think that was going to be the case, you know, from that first third of the lap where the GT3 Prime Verstappen, I'm going to call him, was, you know, gapping us, but he got taken out very swiftly. Of course, Verstappen took out Verstappen. It's what you expect, really, you know, when you have so many Verstappens against each other. I could have just commentated earlier, by the way, and just gone randomly, and it's Verstappen down the inside of Verstappen, and Verstappen's cleared him, and Verstappen is now down the order. Any kind of combo, it makes sense, really, when you have a whole grid of drivers all the same, as we get overtaken by two other RB21s going through the carousel there. P8 now, so I think at this point, have we been overtaken by every single F1 car? I think we might have. There might be one that has retired, and there's yellow flags ahead. Oh, it's another one. Oh, we can get another F1 car. So that's two F1 cars we'll at least be beating today. I'll take that. I'll take that, because honestly, at the start of the race, I was thinking it was going to be a decimation of the RB21s taking all the Ferrari 296s, but it's taken a while to get it done, and now really it's just a case of me taking in this GT3 car and the Nordschleife and trying to concentrate on not absolutely stuffing it. And so far, I felt like we've done a pretty good job. But of course, you know, because of that fact, there was definitely going to be a mistake on the way. But soaking in this really quite lovely car. Obviously, I've done a little bit of GT3 driving, you know, in games like Le Mans Ultimate before. You know, we've done some, you know, maybe perhaps before an Assetto Corsa, but I don't know, maybe for some of you, like some of you guys, similar to me, seeing Verstappen in real life jump into one of these cars and take at it and, you know, see that whole spectacle, just really in the same way where sometimes you watch a real life F1 Grand Prix and it makes you want to play the F1 game. It just made me itch to try this specific Ferrari 296 out in this configuration, you know, at the Nordschleife, and do some sort of video around it, because I imagine a lot of you guys will also maybe feeling similar inspirations. There we go, finally, a massive mistake. You were probably expecting when it was going to happen, not if it was going to happen from me. Always does. There's always one issue with us on Assetto Corsa in terms of losing the back end, but that was my bad. Just a bit of a blind right-hander. I didn't really realise how much speed we're carrying in and how tight the corner was. And at this point in the lap, by the way, I still had so much to go. The lead Verstappen RB21 was finishing the lap and winning the race. So such is the performance difference there. We had about maybe a third of the lap to still go, and they were clearing and onto the first and second step of the podium. So we just need to press on now. All 3 podium sitters are taken as we now wind through to the long stretch on the back end of the Nordschleife. So much so that the car has gone so far that you can't even hear the engine anymore until you get back to the onboard. But at this point, I think we're booking in this 7th place, which is quite nice. My lucky number 7. We're going to finish the race in 7th place. And as we just concentrate on trying to pick out the break point or the lifting off point to ease into the last section of this lap, as I was kind of just alluding to, really just nice to soak this experience in and kind of have a very big appreciation for what Verstappen just did over the weekend. I mean, I already did, but more so, you know, stepping from the F1 world into a GT3 car around this Nordschleife lap, it was daunting. I actually felt nervous because I thought I was going to make so many mistakes in this video, but we only made one major one, which I'm pretty happy with. And it was quite the experience, very nerve-wracking. You can see why it's such a, you know, infamous circuit. And maybe in the future there'll be more kind of scenarios and fun videos we can do like this if Verstappen continues his GT3 experiences. But guys, if you have enjoyed this one, hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.